So I have a board full of Murlocs, and my opponent is at 1 health, but I'm pretty scared here. I'm at 15, so I'm going to take the safe option, the heads up play. Finley, armour up, 17 health. Surely my opponent can't kill me at 17 health when he only has 9 mana to play with. Surely not. He either has to play Ice Block on this turn to survive, or he has to kill me on this turn, or he's dead the following turn. This is a beautiful board of Murlocs, all buffed up. And now he has 6 mana to play with. Can he kill me with 6 mana? It turns out he can. Sorcerer's Apprentice, Fireball to the face, Frostbolt, and of course he had double Ice Lance for precise lethal with the BM2. That felt really, really bad. Really, really bad. So at this point I got upset. Couldn't make any progress through rank 2. I got upset and I made a decision. I decided to craft that Murloc Shaman deck with all gold cards. Golden cards, including the spells. And as you can see, you know, I had over 100,000 dust. Dust was not a problem. So, made the decision after a bit of prompting from some of the viewers of this channel and some of my friends on Twitter. Yep, they encouraged me, you encouraged me, and crafting these cards golden, such a great feeling. Now you can ask the question, why craft an all golden deck? Well, who knows? Maybe having my cards all golden will somehow improve my RNG. Maybe having all of the cards golden will give me some kind of psychological advantage, where my opponent will see a board full of golden Murlocs and then feel threatened by that and start misplaying. Who knows? But yes, such a great feeling crafting all of these cards as golden cards. Okay, let's have a look at the deck. This is Gankplang's Murloc Shaman deck, and the objective is simple. Go wide on the board early with your Murlocs, play Underbelly Angler, and you can get some more Murlocs back to your hand. And then that's a hand refill, basically. Play those Murlocs, buff the board, go face, after playing Everything is Awesome. And there you go. Of course, along the way, you make favourable trades where it's necessary, but this deck is an aggressive deck. The games are over very quickly, and you know very quickly whether you are winning or losing. And if you are looking to rank up fast, that's a very, very important factor. So, wins and losses. I played 9 games, had a 78% win rate with the deck. That's pretty impressive. This deck was able to take me through rank 2 and get me rank 1 finally in the May season. And as you can see there, a loss to a Druid, a loss to a Mage. The Druid just armoured up forever, played Spreading Plague, and I couldn't compete with that. But other than that, this deck can just absolutely overwhelm your opponent. So let's have a look at it in action on the Wild Mode ladder, progressing through rank 2.
You stand before King Rastakhan.
Okay, so going up against a Druid here, and I'm seriously hoping that it's a token Druid, because I feel that this deck can match the aggression of a token Druid deck. I feel that if played well enough, or if you draw well enough, rather, you can control the board against their tokens. And I'm taking the Mage Hero power here instead of the Hunter Hero power. I feel that being able to ping down his minions in the first few turns of the game, or even in the middle of the game, may be more important than doing 2 damage to his face. Gives me control of the board, and then I can push the damage face in the late game. But yeah, Jade Druid, or any kind of control style Druid, is a bit of a problem, because they just armour up, and they armour up some more, then they play Vargoth, and you're just really sad, because they play Spreading Plague, and then they swipe away your Murlocs, and there's nothing you can do about it. If they get to a turn where they can play Ultimate Infestation, you know it's game over. So yeah, Token Druid certainly more preferable for me. The question is, what do I do here? There are 3 tokens on his board. I could just play Tiny Finn here and buff the health of my Murlocs and kill off one of his tokens. The other play was to have pinged a 1-1 and traded Finley into the other 1-1, so he'd only be left with a 1-3 on the board. But I think this is slightly better. But here he goes, wide on the board with a buff. And all of a sudden, this is looking really, really bad for me. But this deck can make comebacks. It can make comebacks. So, what do I start with here? I guess the priority is to kill something. So we can remove 3 things from his board here. And now all of a sudden, the game has swung back into my favour. Golden Tiny Finn, by the way, such an amazing card. It's got little hearts coming off of it, which you can see there if you look closely now. That's so awesome. But clearly, my opponent is a monster. He just killed Tiny Finn. Oh dear. Well, it's fine. We will avenge Tiny Finn here by drawing a card. So a 2-5 Murloc in the way there.
The scourge will devour all.
I wonder how far he'll go in terms of prioritising to remove it. He'll probably just ignore it. But that's not going to work out for him in the long run, because if he ignores the 2-5, he's going to have to focus then on killing my other Murlocs. And I'm just going to draw cards. Maelstrom Portal. Fantastic. Yeah, well, let's keep that Murloc card draw machine buffed up there. 3 attack. Actually contests most of his board. Wow, Savage Roar. And he's killing it. Yeah, he recognises that it needs to die. But 1 Savage Roar has now been used, and that's really pertinent. I may have been slightly hasty there in playing the card that I played.
Try crystal.
Was pondering whether I should have played the Angler on that turn, but I don't know. Would have drawn 1 card. Is that worth it in this position? Not sure. But anyway, we're in control of the board. The only thing that really wrecks us now is Living Mana. I'm assuming he doesn't play those spells Summon Treants like you see on Standard mode with Token Druid. So it'll just be Living Mana that we have to be scared of here. Okay. We could play the Angler and draw 1 card. I guess we may as well do it. Finger was the alternative. Oh look, we can draw another card too. That's great. And that's a phenomenal pickup. Okay. 5 health Angler. He's going to really struggle to kill that. And now we just ride the value train onward to victory. Wow. So, we can play these Murlocs, and everything is awesome, and just absolutely wreck his face. So, what can he do against this? Absolutely nothing. Turns out everything is awesome is superior to Savage Roar, because the minions keep the buffs after the turn is over.
Rastakan versus Arthas. You stand before King Rastakan.
Okay, heading into our next game with this golden deck. We're going up against a paladin, so it's going to be an odd paladin for sure at this rank. And I see a 1-drop in my hand, I see a couple of 2-drops, I see a curve, I feel quite happy. So let's see what he does on turn 1.
Welcome. You may bow before me.
Of course, they always have a 1-drop. But do I play Finley here? I've just drawn a second 1-drop. So I think we coin out the Angler, because if he cannot kill it on his turn, I get to play 2 1-drops, and I get 2 Murlocs to my hand. That's pretty good value. Normally I would just have played Finley for 1, but I want to see how much value I can squeeze out of this Angler here. If we're lucky, we'll get a 0-cost Murloc as well from this. That's a 1-cost Murloc, okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. I was really hoping for a tiny Finn, just so we could play something else, but it's okay. He has to make a choice now between the Angler and the Tidecaller. And that's not an easy choice. Well, actually, it is an easy choice. You kill the Angler. You absolutely kill the Angler, but the Tidecaller itself can get out of control quite quickly. It can get buffed up quite quickly. So you want to kill that as well. Looks like he doesn't have a solution here, though, for both of them.
Most impressive.
Because he's actually thinking. An odd paladin actually putting thought into his turn. It's pretty impressive. Okay, he has muster for battle. Fair enough, but he can't kill the Tidecaller. That's good news. The bad news is that he's got 4 tokens on the board. And we can only kill 2 of them. So, I guess buffing our Murlocs here is the best line of play. Means he's going to have to work harder to kill them. And I can't believe for a moment there I thought about going face. You cannot leave dudes alive on the board. You have to kill them as quickly as possible, because otherwise they just get buffed up and you're sad. Gentle Megasaur in my hand, potentially for a turn 4 play. But he has to deal with these Murlocs, which all have buffed health. And at most, I assume he can only kill 1 of them. Oh, does that change anything? No, actually doesn't change anything. He can still only kill 1 Murloc.
How can this be?
So that's pretty good for me. And he's still thinking. He's thinking about trading. Interesting. These Murlocs scare him so much. So decided not to go with the Megasaur here. Just going to work on building, I guess, as wide a board as I can build. It's a 3-3. I'll take that. Okay, so super wide board here. And I feel at this juncture, given my board,
Back to your home.
this is game over, really. How does he recover from this? I mean, back to your homes does help a little bit. It slows me down, because I'm going to kill that 3-3, and I'm going to kill both of the dudes. So that is damage that isn't going to his face. I mean, if we played the Megasaur and we got the +3 attack, that's a lot of damage, which we could just throw face potentially, but I don't want to risk it. We're unlikely to get it anyway, right? Whenever you play the Megasaur, you never get the buff that you actually want. Okay, so we kill the steward, make these trades, clear the board, keep it clear. And now we ask him the question. How do you deal with these Murlocs? How do you deal with a second Underbelly Angler? Just going to keep drawing me Murlocs if you don't kill it.
What would Uther do?
What would Uther do? I don't think he'd play Leroy Jenkins to trade into an Underbelly Angler. Wow, okay. Really desperate. really, really desperate to kill the Angler there. So, is this just game over now? Still gonna trade though. Again, I could have played the Megasaur. Could have hoped for that +3 attack buff, but knowing my luck, we probably wouldn't get it. I mean, Wind Fury could have been useful as well. Would that have found me lethal? Oh well. Oh look, Stealth, Divine Shield and Taunt. So, would I have got Wind Fury? Would I have got +3 attack? Based on that result from the Megasaur, probably not. Okay, next game is against a Warlock. So, I'm throwing away Tiny Finn. Maybe I should have kept it. I mean, it's playable. It costs 0. That means it's board presence. But there's Finley. So it's a choice between the Sludge Slurper and Finley. I'm going with the Slurper here. Just because it's got 2 attack. So if we're going up against a Zoo deck, maybe it can kill something.
Truth is found in death.
Yeah, it's a Zoo deck with Keleseth.
Who's up for an adventure?
And he's got the Keleseth buff. So this is probably going to be a tougher game than anticipated. But it turns out playing the Sludge Slurper was the right play. We were able to kill Keleseth. But here come those buffed minions. And I'm really quite scared here that I could just get overwhelmed. Was playing Devolve on that turn, was that the right play? Was it too early?
But of course,
I mean, it's allowed me to break through his board here and keep control, and he's not happy. But should I have saved that Devolve for later in the game? It's the only copy of Devolve in the deck, it's worth noting.
it's playtime.
And this is a really scary board. So I could use Avalanche here. The question is, what minion do I want to target with it? I could freeze something, maybe the 4/4, and do some trading. Or I could play the War Leader, buff only Finley. Finley would be able to kill the 3/3. This is actually quite tough. Or maybe it isn't so difficult. Maybe I just need to stop overthinking this and just play Avalanche. This is good enough. We've cleared most of the board. And he's really not happy.
Someone called for it.
The fact that he had to tap, that's good for me. Means he developed less on that turn. So, I have 5 mana. I think we utilise our mana here. I think we play the Tidecaller and we play the Spirit Walker. I'd be curious to see if he can kill the Spirit Walker. Well, he can, but if he makes the double trade, he ignores the Tidecaller. So we need something else from hand here to fully clear the board.
Your magic shall not save me.
Well, I guess that works too. And this is surprising. He goes all face. Really? I'm not sure how smart that was on his part. He had an opportunity to kill the Tidecaller. He should have taken it. And when they say thank you, it almost feels like they know something that you don't, and that they have the upper hand in some way. But I don't see how he has the upper hand here. Because we're about to buff this board. And we can even fit a ping in here. That's pretty crazy. And I suspect that this is just game over. Just like that. Oh, okay. Maybe not. How long can this go on? Really? Ooh, that's pretty good. So surely now it's game over. It's interesting how bad things were looking in the early game for me, but how quickly things have turned round. And it's pretty awesome, considering that he got Keleseth, I think on turn 1 with the coin. And we've still been able to outvalue him. And that Murloc Tidecaller, which he could have killed, just went out of control.
Versus Mecha Jaraxxus!
Okay, so this is another Warlock. Hoping to get a tiny Finn, hopefully, to go with the Angler.
Who's up for an adventure?
And I seem to be getting very lucky with Finley's hero power. Always getting the Warlock hero power. That's pretty awesome. Oh look, there's Tiny Finn. But I'm gonna wait. He didn't play anything on turn 1. Makes me think that this is not a zoo deck that we're facing. So this could be Mechathune, it could be Rhinolock, it could be Cublock. Possibilities are endless. So what do we have to be conscious of here? We have to be conscious of board clears, we have to be conscious of AoE. Can we kill him before the board clears clear our board? That's the question. Although I guess you don't need AoE when you've got a 3/9 taunt in the way. Or had a 3/9 taunt in the way. Okay, I've played right into Defile here, I think. Either Defile or Hellfire is gonna wreck us. Oh! Well, that's interesting. Demon Wrath. You don't see that every day. Earthshock here will help clear something, I guess. I think that's worth doing. Maybe taking the Crackle would have been better. Just for face damage. Ooh, okay. This is Darkest Hour Warlock. So I think we should be okay. As long as he doesn't draw into Darkest Hour. If he doesn't draw into Darkest Hour, we can just keep killing off the imps or the tokens that he plays on the board.
From the void I come.
That Void Caller, that's going to be a bit awkward to deal with. Okay. So, I guess we just go face here. We go face and we hope for the best. Two Megasaurs in hand. Oh wow, no demons in hand. That's really useful information to know. So, I think we just do as much damage as we can. Pick the Wind Fury, don't even count, just go face. And what you know, it's game over. Just like that.
Versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
You stand before King Rasta.
Okay, so this is the final game. The final boss to get rank 1. Going up against a mage. So we have 1 drop, we have 2 1-drops, and we have a 2-drop. That's pretty decent. Question is, what do we play on turn 1? I guess it has to be the Sludge Slurper, although he just pings that off, right? So, actually, Toxfin was better there. Even though we don't get the poison effect on anything, I think this was fine. Ooh, it's drawing me cards. Why, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. So, only drawing one card there. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Wow, he really wants to give me Murlocs. Would we ever play the second angler? Would we ever play the second angler and then Tidecaller and Finley? I don't think we'd do, because we'd overdraw, right? And I think buffing the Tidecaller here seems sensible. Ultimately, it is that Tidecaller that is going to go face and do ridiculous amounts of damage. Okay, deal with this board. And even if he deals with this board, we have a lot of firepower left in our hands still. Now, unless those glyphs are giving him flame strikes or blizzards, he's pretty much screwed here. Ha! Tiny Finn survives. Okay. So many cards in hand, so many options. What is the best play here? If in doubt, go face. Murkai. 5 damage. Pretty good. And we've got 3 Bilefin typed hunters there. 3 in a row that we've picked up. That's pretty cool. And to be honest, this is a situation where I'm not too bothered about that Flame Waker. It can clear my whole board. I don't really care because I've got so much that I can do to refill the board. The question is, what do I play?
For my glory.
Okay, what do we get? Discover a spell. Fine. Okay, still pushing that damage. And the death rattle on our Murlocs now will really help us against this Flame Waker. Oh, there's the quest! How interesting. Bit late to play that. But these are some pretty good spells here. In fact, he may succeed in clearing this board. Wow, look at him go. Okay, almost a full board clear. Almost a full board clear. So we could play the Angler, or we could hold off on it. Do we really have a need to play it? That's the question.
From nothing.
Oh, Crackle there. Pretty decent. And just play stuff. So, we've got some taunts in the way now. That giant, it's not gonna be easy for it to connect with my face. And if he manages to clear this entire board, fine, we'll just play the Angler and load of Murlocs. And just get the value. He's really on the back foot here. Even with a giant on board. still going to be a real struggle for him to win this game. So we could play the Megasaur, but again, I don't trust the buffs that I'll get from it.
Deloa, speak to me.
But let's see what we get. Oh look, we actually got +3 attack. Fancy that. Now, if I just played the Megasaur, we'd have had mana for Crackle. But would that have been enough for any kind of lethal with Ice Barrier in play? Probably not. So killing the Giant just feels safe. I think we can afford to take this game slow. And it's strange me saying that, right? Because I'm the aggro deck. I'm the deck that's meant to be going fast. But he has a limited number of options in his hand, and I have all the value in my hand. Yep, all the value. Okay, so what does he need here to survive? Obviously Ice Block would be helpful, a Blizzard would be good, Frost Nova Doomsayer perhaps, but I have Devolve. Okay, he's using all his spells here just to survive. And we're hearing there from Slizzle466 the struggle, he says, clearly on the EU ladder. Slizzle has mentioned to me in the past that climbing on EU is quite a difficult exercise comparative to NA. Ooh, never surrender. Looks like we're a paladin. I feel like I may have missed an opportunity for lethal on an earlier turn by not just entirely focusing on his face and then playing the Crackle. By doing all the trading that I've been doing, I just feel like maybe I've missed an opportunity for it. So, a big committal from me onto this board. And I'm quite expecting some kind of AoE to come down now, surely.
I serve the Fire Lord.
Yeah, that's not going to do it for him. Never surrender means that Flame Waker is not going to work out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Never Surrender in Odd Paladin is so busted. So look at this, he finally completes the quest. But it's not going to do him any good. Our minions refuse to die. Still can't kill anything. Oh, this Flame Waker, not having a good day. I'll take a taunt. And one more time. Oh wow, look, he actually managed to kill a minion with the Flame Waker. I do have this Crackle in hand, but again, take it slow. There is no need to rush. Okay, so surely next turn we can get our lethal. Yep, and there we go.
Most impressive.
So there it is, there's rank 1 with this Murloc Shaman deck. And prior to this, I'd been struggling playing a whole range of different decks. I'd been playing Odd Paladin, I'd been playing, you know, a bit of Big Priest even. I've been playing even Shaman, I've been playing lots of different decks, and I was struggling to get through to rank 2. I was struggling to make any progress. But after playing this this Murloc Shaman deck from Gankplang, have I pronounced your name correctly? Gankplang? There it is. That's the correct pronunciation. After playing this this golden Murloc Shaman deck, we've finally managed to reach rank 1, and we've managed to do it relatively quickly as well. So that's a massive bonus for me. This deck is super fun to play, super quick to play, and there are some pretty cool interactions between the cards that maybe you didn't get to see in this video. So for example, Scargill and having a Spirit Walker on the board at the same time, and then being able to kill off some of your other small Murlocs. Obviously when you do that, you're drawing cards as the Murlocs die because of the Spirit Walker, and then you're able to play them for cheap because of Scargill. That's a pretty cool interaction. Scargill on the board alongside an Underbelly Angler is pretty awesome as well, because you then play some Murlocs, get Murlocs back to hand, play those Murlocs for cheap, and so on and so forth. So yeah, some pretty cool interactions which you didn't really see much of in this video because, to be frank, it wasn't needed. The deck itself, just playing the cards, the basic Murloc cards that are in the deck on curve, so a 1-drop into a 2-drop into a 3-drop, making favourable trades, playing a couple more cards, buffing the board with everything is awesome. Sometimes that's all you need. You don't need to do anything fancy. Just play on curve and win, and this deck is pretty good at doing that. Now, in that last game, maybe I played things a little bit too conservative. Maybe I was playing too defensively. I was nervous. It was the final boss for rank 1, and so there was a lot on the line. I really wanted to win that game. And so maybe there were opportunities in that game where I could have been more aggressive, where I could have gone face, ended the game a little bit quicker. Maybe I missed lethal. I don't know. I need to go back and count. But the end result was still a win. Took longer than I thought it would take, but I was still happy with how things ultimately turned out. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun. If you enjoyed the content, please give me a little subscribe. I would be grateful, and drop me a like as well. It would be very much appreciated. Oh, and a shout out to Gankplang for this Murloc Shaman deck. Seriously, I've had so much fun playing it, and the results that you see in this video are undeniable. The deck certainly does work, and in fact, since I've been posting screenshots on Twitter of my games, I've had people messaging me saying, oh, you know, how have you been finding the deck? And, oh, I've got most of the cards, but not all of the legendaries. What cards would you substitute in or out of the deck? So yes, I've had quite a cool reaction from my Twitter followers asking for advice on playing the deck. Now, I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not an expert. And in fact, when one of my viewers said, but you are a Murloc expert because you've got all these cards in gold, that must mean you're an expert. No, I'm not an expert. I see a deck that I like, I play it for a bit, I publish a video, try and spread awareness, and, you know, get people engaged and interested in wild mode. But if you have questions about this deck, Gankplang is on Twitter and can be found quite easily. So I would suggest that you direct any questions about this deck to Gankplang, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to answer them. Okay, so thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.